and welcome to a video tutorial sponsored by Anycubic. In this tutorial we're going to build the Signal Tower of Erfurt. I'm going to show you some painting techniques, how it's assembled, and we're going to use a plastic kit which is home printed. Using this printer I've had for a while now. It's the Anycubic Photon Mono M7 Pro. And it's a really good printer which I can really recommend you if you're looking for an upgrade or if you're thinking about entering the world of 3D printing for your model railroad, which is a good idea because there could be good savings made printing all the parts or the details at home compared to buying them as kits in the shop. So we're going to start by looking at this printer and what it can do for you. So here is my Anycubic Photon Mono M7 Pro. Let's switch it on and I'll show you some of the features. First and most important is the highly stable mechanics of this printer. That is key for high quality printouts. And then M7 Pro has this built-in resin heater, and it's not heating the air inside the printer, but it's actually heating the resin directly. This system heats the resin to optimal temperature much faster than other systems using heating fans, for instance. Another great advantage with this printer is the printing speed. In addition to that, you have the option to do high-speed printing. The high-speed printing can reduce a normal print time from 5-6 hours down to 20 minutes. And we're gonna use that option for this first print. This printer connects to your local network, either through cable or through Wi-Fi. That allows you to do printouts directly from your workstation and not bring a USB memory back and forth. But we also need 3D models to get this to work. So we're going to mrrtutorials.com and the catalog over 3D models. We're going to Railroad Technical Structures, and a bit down there is the Signal Tower of Erfurt. This tower is especially suitable for 3D print, since it has a kind of small footprint. It's simply printable on any printer, I would say. It's also easy to retrofit on any layout, since it's kind of small. One common question we often get is these buildings scalable to other scales? And yes, they are. So we're gonna start by scaling this to O scale. That's 1:43 and a half actually. So we're opening the second floor here, because that's the trickiest one to print. It looks like this. So this is where the crew is sitting with all the large windows looking out on the yard. So we're going to scale, and we're scaling it by 202%, and voila. Here is the O gauge version of the same tower. And as you see down here in the menu box, I've selected high-speed resin, and I'm just hitting slice, and now I have the option to remote print. So I click on remote print and then selecting my M7 Pro printer, and then the print job is sent to the printer. And we're jumping ahead a bit here, comparing the O gauge tower, which I have here in my hand, with the HO scale tower, which we'll print in a minute, which is then about half the size of the O gauge tower. And then in addition to that, I've also made a test print of this one in N scale. And again, it's half size, but still the details are all there. Now, the HO scale version and the N scale version was printed using standard speed of this M7 Pro printer. Only the O gauge was printed in draft mode, or would say high speed printing. Here are now the parts for the HO scale tower on the print plate. Another common question I often get is, I see line and defects on the printed parts. What can I do to reduce these? And my advice is to not combine big, heavy, clunky parts on the print plate with small, delicate parts. That is why this tower does not come with the all parts STL file, so we recommend printing each part separate. And that's why you see here I'm printing all the walls in first print, and then in a separate print afterwards I print the windows, and this is to obtain maximum quality.
But the overall quality would go up if I also printed all of these 4 parts separately as well. But now I'm printing them all in one go to save some time. The sliced 3D models is now sent to the printer and the printing starts. And this print took 4 hours and 57 minutes, and after that it looks like this. So the printout is hanging upside down in the print head. All we need to do now is to remove the printout from the print head into a bin of alcohol. And I'm using this washing machine here to simplify that process. So now the print head is clean and ready for another printout. So we close this and now I clean it for 6 minutes. When clean, it looks like this. Alright, so now it needs to dry, so I leave this typically to dry overnight. Then I remove the supports and put it into the post curer. But in this video we're gonna work with the HO scale version of this tower, since I'm gonna use that on my new layout. So first off, before post curing, we're removing the supports. So the supports are very easy to remove, and the remaining supports can be removed with a hobby knife. So here's the base part, the first floor, the second floor, and on top of that, of course, is the roof. So these are the 4 main parts that this tower consists from, and in addition to that there are windows. Now after post curing, meaning having these parts in the UV chamber for 4 minutes, we're applying a primer. And this is a surface primer. It has several purposes. One of them is to prevent moisture from getting into the plastic, because it will deform the plastic over time. Another is to give a good foundation for the paint. And this can be painted either with an airbrush, which I'm going to use here, or with a spray can, which I use to spray the windows. And I will use acrylic paints to paint the tower. This is a mix of 80% Cavalier brown and 20% chocolate brown. I also add some thinner and then I put it into my airbrush. The paint mix became somewhat thin, so it took 4 layers of paint before I got a good coverage over the entire surface. Now next thing is to paint the concrete foot, and there is a paint for that which is called concrete. I'm not super happy about the concrete color. It does not match the concrete color in my region, so I mix it with a bit of white. That gives it a bit more gray tone than the muddy original concrete color. So here it is now. I apply it using a flat, wide, soft brush, and only in one direction like this. So if there are some remaining streaks after the paintbrush, then they will be vertical, all of them. So that's the idea here. But the stair is painted with a round, soft, small paintbrush, just to get all the corners and details in that. And in order to speed up the drying process, in between layers of paint, I use a hair dryer. This is a really good tool. It's always hanging on the edge of my working table, so where I can reach it, because I use it like 100 times per day. Next up is to paint the roof. I couldn't really see what the type of roof this tower had from the pictures. I'm also very sorry not to be able to show you pictures of the actual tower in this video, because I don't have a license to do that. Now, next thing is to add the tiles grout in between the tiles. And to do that, I'm using artist oil paints. These come from a weathering set from Uptilon 502. I squeeze some paint out. I mix white with this gray on a piece of bathroom tissue. The reason for doing that is I want the tissue to absorb the linseed oil from the oil paints. Otherwise, it will take an eternity for these paints to dry. So it's very important to remove the linseed oil out of the artist oil paints. Now once I have thinned this with the odorless turpentine, it's just to add along edges this thin paint, and it will find its way in between the tiles. Absorb excessive paint using a dry brush. There might also be some white paint here landing and drying on top of the tiles. Dip a cotton swab into odorless turpentine and swipe it over the surface without any force, and that will do the trick to remove that paint. It took 2 applications before I got a good looking tiles grout filling in between the tiles. While that is drying, we're preparing the windows. I'm using scrap plastic to make the window panes, and this will be glued to the window frames using solvent-based glue, similar to what you assemble plastic kits. I apply the glue on a surface, and then I dip the window frames into that. Be gentle and moderate with the amount of glue, otherwise it's very easy happen that it floats out on the clear surface and looks ugly. Once it has dried, you can cut out all the windows using a scissor like this, and when this is done, well, then we're ready to mount the windows into the walls. The curved windows in the end of the tower needs also curved window panes. Of course, they're not curved in real life, but this way we at least get some windows inside the frame here. And it looks okay, so now we can start assembly of the windows. These first windows is a bit hard to reach inside this narrow structure, so I'm using a tweezer to get them in place there. Then continuing upwards in the tower, it's easier because the access is better. And also up here where the crew is, it's kind of straightforward. The window snaps in place. So then we can start the assembly of the tower. For the assembly, I'm using a thick fast set glue. This one's from Pacer Technology. And it has a bit of a filler with it, so it bonds better, I think. If you like, there's also an interior set for the tower under signals, with both interior from mechanical old style ställverk and the more modern electric style. There's a tower crew figure in the set as well, which can be positioned in different positions inside the tower. So you also get your crew in place. In these videos, we typically also take a look at new 3D sets to print at home. And one of the more significant amendments is a catenary system for the Swiss SBB Bahn. It consists from I-beam type masts with the socket, the concrete fundament. This is what the printout looks like. It's a socket you screw down into your plywood and then slide in the mast. So if the mast gets damaged, they can be slid out and then replaced. The ausleggers is assembled this way. This means that you can adapt the height of the catenary system over the tracks. So it's less dependent on if you use cork or vinyl or no underlay under the tracks. So that's an amendment we've done with this set. Another thing, of course, is that it's adapted to carry the catenary wires which are available in the market, meaning from Märklin and Fissman. So that's a bit of a trade-off made in dimension to adapt it to wires. Now, if you like, you can make your own ausleggers. In the set, there's provided isolators with holes for 0.5 millimeter music wire. In the set, there's also transformers and transformer fixing shelves for the H masts. And we also added a typical assembly which you find line side all over Swiss, I would say. Another amendment is the bus stop set or bus square set. This set includes not just bus stop parts, but also kiosks. So this is a kind of newspaper sausage type kiosk in two different sizes. There's a small one, there's a larger one. And then a range of different type of bus stops, of course. So this is what the kiosk looked like when printed, painted, and when assembled the interior, which follows in PDF format with this set. And this is what the bus stop looks like. And then some years ago we published a harbor set, or actually a harbor detail set. Now we have added a lighthouse to this set as well. So it's a small type harbor lighthouse, which you typically find guiding boats into the harbors. So it prints in two parts, the main body and then the roof. So this one's just primed. In the same set you also find this type of ancient anchor buoys in different angles to give a complete and realistic scene. And of course fish boxes, both fish boxes filled with the fish and also empty boxes. These are provided both individual and stacked. And what's in development then? Well, we're working on a complete system for the Dutch railways. This is the Gothic arches. They are available in two with a different type of arrangement for the Auslegers. There will also be a standard mast included in this set, which looks like this. And it will all come with this characteristic Dutch concrete socket and transformers and everything, of course. Another set we're working on is a line side set for Swiss. The SBB-bahn, it will consist from various objects you find line side with SBB-bahn. So small houses, electric connection boxes like this, and yeah, all kind of stuff which forms a line side set. We already have the line side set for Germany and Sweden. So this will be the third country getting line side set with parts exactly made to the country's standard.
All right, so a lot of new stuff coming out, and also a lot of new stuff is on the way. There are, in addition to this, also a new catenary set for Sweden, which is super detailed, which will be coming out also Q3 this year. I hope you have used for the information provided in this video. If you do, please support the channel by getting over to Patreon, set up a support account there from $1, $2, $4, $20 per month, or make a one-off donation using the PayPal dialog found in the video description below. And if you're not yet a member, subscribe to the channel, subscribe, enable that little bell, and you will get notification once next video gets published. Until that happens, see you!